We're live. Ethical Egoist, Monday, June 1st. We're ready to rock and roll. Persephone's kicking ass and taking names. She's got a great topic. She's got a great introduction. Get to it, Persephone.
I don't know why you said ethical egoist. Welcome to Everyday Ethics, where we discuss
Because I'm overwhelmed.
where we discuss quote unquote your ethical dilemmas. If you have any, feel free to leave them in the comments, in the chat, submit them on the website, tell us about it on Twitch, do whatever. Ask questions, because otherwise I have to sit here and annoy Michael with the weird stuff that goes on in my life. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch and become a channel member and find us on Spotify. And stay tuned after this for crime corrections and culture.
See, I knew you rocked and rolled, and I'm sorry I got it wrong. The problem is I'm doing an interview at 4:30 for the Rational Egoist, and I kind of just combined, and I was fixing the thing behind me that says Rational Egoist, and I threw in a little extra with the welcome to the Ethical Egoist.
Welcome to the Ethical Egoist. It's a good name, actually. But this show is called Everyday Ethics, where we discuss your everyday ethical questions. So can I give you a bunch of things that I've been thinking about, and you tell me if there's anything that you're interested in talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Sound less enthused. Okay. So here's the things that I've been thinking about specifically today. So trying to control outcomes and the behavior of people around you.
I don't know anything about that.
Things that have no good... Things that suck, no matter which way you look at them.
All right.
Cancel culture that has a specific thing, a specific story that I find interesting, or abortion.
Did you mention super chats and super stickers?
Please don't forget that we accept and love and really appreciate super chat and super stickers, because it's a good way to support the channel and say that you are grateful for all of the content that we put out.
Yeah. I need money.
So do I.
All right.
I need to buy a new bed, because I have 3 dogs that sleep on my bed, and that wrecks a mattress.
Okay,
Anyway.
pick a topic. Let's go.
No, I said I'm going to give you a bunch. You pick one.
I don't want to pick one. I'm done making decisions for the day. Just make a decision. Oh, look at this. A $3 super sticker from Nicole Hingle. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, so how about we talk about this, because it's still something that I find interesting. I know that we've spoken about it before. But you know how earlier today on the Capitalist Corner we were talking about vaping and how you can't ban like flavored vapes just because kids might get hold of it.
Well, you
right?
can. You shouldn't.
Yeah, you can, but you shouldn't. Okay,
Yeah.
so there is a couple of situations in life where sometimes both options suck, right? And it sucks that kids can get hold of vapes or liquor or cigarettes or guns. But you can't ban those things. So neither option is good, right?
All right.
You can't ban it because you're taking freedoms away. There's loads of unintended consequences. But also the fact that they can get hold of it, that sucks, right? And that sort of weirdly ties in with the abortion thing that I wanted to talk about. It sucks. You can't ban abortion, but it also sucks for the dudes that sometimes they get stuck paying child support because the woman that they knocked up wanted the baby, or they want the baby but the woman doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what I've been thinking about. Any thoughts?
My arm hurts. That's my thought.
Good. Love that.
So,
for you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what the question is. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of
tired?
No, I just don't know. Like, I get it sucks if you're a guy and you get a woman pregnant and you want the kid and she doesn't, but ultimately it's not your body that the fetus is living in and living off of, and you don't have the right to force her to carry this thing, I shouldn't say, the fetus to term, right? Now, there is an interesting dynamic here, and maybe look up the law so I make sure that I'm not just speaking out of, well, you know. I believe that this is the case. So if a guy gets a girl pregnant and he does not want it, but she wants it and she carries to term, he's still on the hook for child support. Is that accurate in the United States of America? That's the first thing I want to. I really need to know that before I continue.
A man is legally obligated to pay child support even if he does not want the child and has no intention of being
Okay.
involved in its life.
This I don't like. Right? I don't like it because you're saying that it's her body, it's her choice, and I'm okay with that. But if that's going to be the case, if he doesn't want it and she does, so if he wants it and she doesn't, she has no obligations. She can have the abortion.
Yes.
If he wants it, if she wants it and he doesn't, he has an obligation for 18 years.
Yes.
That to me seems woefully unfair.
It does. And like I know abortion is such a tricky subject because people are like, well, the child deserves, to have a decent life. And it's just one of those things where, again, there is no actual good outcome. Like, this is not the kind of thing that you can make rules about that are going to be fair to everybody, and that's not
Right.
going to have
And
a
let's,
sucky outcome.
I just want to put the entire thing out there. So there's arguments, right? Like for pro-choice, for pro-life folks, people that are opposed to abortion, for instance, they'll argue things like, well, you had the choice to have sex, which is true,
True.
right? There's further arguments. I understand that contraception is not 100%, but it's pretty accurate, works pretty well, right? So there's a variety of things that you can do, even if you choose to have sex, to not end up with a pregnancy. So they choose not to do that, but the pro-choice people still say, well, it's still her body. She should be able to have an abortion. I agree. But now if I say, well, the guy doesn't want the kid, so if you're saying that you now have the responsibility to take care of the kid, and he said, and you say, look, you had all kinds of choices. You chose to put your dick somewhere, as Jim says. You chose to have unprotected sex. You chose not to pull out. You're responsible. It seems to me a bit of a double standard.
It is, and it's a tricky one for me, like, because it is unfair no matter which way you cut it.
I want Jim to elaborate, because the way I'm getting Jim, because if this is true, then Jim is going to be stuck in a double standard himself. Jim says, as a male, I'm subject to the consequences. That's biology. Nature does not oppress. But I could just as easily say about a woman, if you allow a dick in you, you're subject to the consequences in nature. That's biology. Nature does not oppress. Carry it to term. So you can't, I don't see how you get away, if you want logical consistency, with saying whichever party does not want the child does not have to have the child. If the woman doesn't want it, she can have an abortion against the objections of the male. And if the male doesn't want it, she can have it, but she can't then force him to take care of it. I don't see how you get around that.
Yeah, but doesn't that suck?
Why? Why did
Because
it, what it,
w-
what
because
who, okay, hold on. Let me just say. The law as it currently stands sucks. Yes, that
yes.
you're going to compel this guy to pay for this child for 18 years. Yes,
Yes.
that
So,
sucks. But that's a function of law, right?
yeah.
So if you did away with that law, then the argument would be it's going to suck for the kid. If she chooses to have it and the father chooses not to be there, it does suck for the kid.
So then what if you get into a situation where a guy and a man and a woman are dating and they decide to have kids, right? They're like, we're going to have kids. And then he says, once she's pregnant, he says, I don't want this kid anymore. Is he then obligated to pay child support? Like, at
Well,
what point do
legally,
you say,
yes. This
well,
is,
yeah,
ultimately, I would, if I were the boss, if it's my universe, I'm
yeah,
legislating for everybody.
Czar of the universe,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say if a guy tells a woman he wants to have a kid, then they should draw up a contract. I mean, that's how it is for most things. You want to, I mean, I guess there's verbal contracts, but if he lies, if he says, no, I never agreed to that, I never said that, and then it's he said, she said, literally, draw up a contract.
So, like the abortion thing is one thing, right? But I think the point that I'm getting at is that there are more things in life where no matter which way you cut it, it's unfair to someone, and a lot of people struggle with the idea that something can suck and there can be no way to make it not suck. Does that make sense? I'm very tired. I'm on a lot of antibiotics.
Okay, no
So if I'm
excuses. Look, people have this idea that the universe should be fair to them. But
yeah.
the universe can be neither fair nor unfair. It is. That's it. Human beings can be unfair and often are. Now, there's things in life that suck. When Melissa got cancer, it sucked. But I mean, there's no appeal. There's no court I can go to. There's nobody. I mean, it just sucks. Life has things like that. Sometimes in life, you have to choose the least bad option. Sometimes you have to suffer things in the immediate for long-term benefit. And that's it.
Yes. I agree. Uh, Sorry, I'm just reading Robert's comment that I'm making a moral point. No, a guy shouldn't be legally obligated to deal with a woman's pregnancy, but obviously he should take responsibility, which can take many forms.
I think Robert is. Don't allow him to rescue you from a position you didn't hold, because I don't believe that's what you were arguing. I believe
That's
you were arguing that the position he's in sucks, and some things in life just suck.
that is my position.
Yeah.
My position is that it sucks that kids can get hold of cigarettes and vapes,
Right.
but there is no way to stop that. It sucks that a man has less control over a pregnancy that he may or may not have wanted than the woman, but there is no way to prevent that. And
Well, there
it's
is though.
like
See, that's where we're going to disagree. He doesn't have to go put his dick in her.
true.
He doesn't have to do that. So it's not as if there's no control. What you're saying is at the point of pregnancy, once she's pregnant, she has all the cards.
Yes, which sucks for the dude, but if it was
Yes.
the other way around, it would suck for the woman, right?
Yes.
So in either way, some person gets screwed. If you ban vapes, maybe you protect some children, but you're screwing over other people.
But
If
how?
you
Hold on, Persephone, 1 second. In the case of the dude, right?
yes.
Assuming that the pregnancy is not intentional, right? Assuming there's no agreement. He gets the girl pregnant, the woman pregnant, whatever. He didn't plan this. She didn't plan this. It's accidental.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, he might not like it, but if the baby is inside her, the fetus rather is inside her, and I say fetus not because I'm trying to play games, but because fetus is what it is. Baby is the term. Like, it's not an adult either, nor is it a toddler. It is a fetus. So if she doesn't want it, it's her body ultimately. The alternative is to force her to carry to term. He has no right over her body. He has no right to tell her what to do. He may not like it, but that doesn't mean it's like a metaphysical suck for him. There's no choice in the matter for him at all. The only problem I have is that if he doesn't want it, but she does, he's then compelled to care for it. He's not, my point is he's not getting, I guess I'm going to get back, he's not getting screwed if she decides to terminate the baby. He's not. He hasn't, there's no deal, there's no contract, nothing's happened to him, nobody's violating his rights. It may suck because he wants it, but he's not being screwed by anybody.
No, he's not being screwed, but it still sucks.
It sucks because he's not getting his way. That's life. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people that I've seen on the internet, they want an outcome where nothing sucks, and it's difficult for them to wrap their mind around a scenario where at some point you're going to run into a decision that you have to make where both outcomes suck in their own unique ways for someone.
Are you a fan of The Big Bang Theory? Not the theory, the TV show.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I've seen some of it.
Well, there's an episode where Sheldon, the OCD guy, and I don't remember what he's trying to solve, but he's drawing on a board, and he's obsessed because he can't come to a conclusion. It's something to do with hanging out with Kripke, the guy he works with. And he's OCDing because he can't find a good solution. So in order to get him to stop obsessing, they go and tell him, you picked the least bad. And sometimes that's all you can do. But that's just the nature of reality. That's not anybody's fault. It's just, what are you going to do? But you're right. There's people who think there should never be a tough decision. I went through this in prison all the time. So we'd have a meeting, for instance, as inmate facilitators. It's on Wednesday nights. One Wednesday a month. That you have a facilitator meeting at night, and you're not supposed to miss it, right? But guys would say, oh, but I've got something else on that night. I shouldn't be penalized for missing if I've got something else. I'm sorry, dude. Life is tough. Sometimes you have to make tough choices. Life does not present you with here's everything you want. Just take it, and it's never going to be tough. Sometimes you have to make hard choices, right? Like, who the fuck wants a prostate exam, right? But if you want to protect yourself from prostate cancer, you get the goddamn prostate exam. You don't say, no, I don't want no prostate cancer. I better not get it. But wait a second, you're not doing that to me, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes life prevents you with a prostate exam, and you just have to take it because it's your best option. Yeah. That should be a video clip. You should put that on a shirt.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put a picture of your face on the shirt. Well, that was my topic, because it's something that I think about.
Prostate exams were your topic?
No, not prostate exams. Just the fact that sometimes there are no good choices, and I think a lot of people don't understand that.
What, prostate exams?
Oh my god. I'm just gonna make a shirt with a picture of your face, and it's just gonna say prostate exams, and it's gonna be like the most inside joke shirt ever.
Well, whatever. I mean, it's a part of life. I could have said colonoscopy. I don't know.
You know that shirt that you have that's got like all the presidents on it? I'm just gonna have your face and then just have prostate exam and colonoscopy, and I'll figure out some other things to put on it.
You could put on a shirt. Talk to Liebowitz. It's not quite as bad as a prostate exam.
Terrible.
What do you
Well,
want
anyway, that
from
was
me?
my topic. Is there anything else? I can tell you the cancel culture thing that I found really funny.
No, I do think that it is it is something that I don't necessarily like in life. That's, you know what I mean, but it just is life, and you just have to accept it. You can't, I remember talking to Diana once, and I'm like, we wanted to start eating healthy, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go to this. I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter at this point. She's like, yeah, but that wouldn't be delicious. And I'm like, what the, for fuck's sake? You know, everything in life is not delicious. It's like sometimes you have to do difficult things, right? Do you think that I like being up at 5:30 in the morning reading 25 articles? It's not enjoyable to me. You know what is enjoyable to me though? Being able to do a show at noon talking about topics in an informed way. I enjoy that, right? So I do something at 5:30 a.m. that I don't enjoy because it allows me to do something later that I do enjoy. But sometimes there's just no enjoyment. Sometimes it's just a choice between getting kicked in the nuts and kicked in the face, and I'm taking the kick to the face every time. Not enjoyable, but a lot better than the kick in the nads. Am I right, guys?
I don't have testicles, so I wouldn't know. But
That's got to go on. That should go on merch. I don't have testicles, so I shouldn't. I don't know. Okay.
which is better? Uh, yeah, I don't know. That was my thought today.
So the other day, I guess I'll digress a little bit because I was thinking today a little bit about thinking. Mark and I did an episode on principles here on Friday, and I was thinking today about the importance of thinking in principle. What got me more thinking about that was this. I'll tell you about the Dave Smith thing again to pivot to what I want to talk about. So Dave Smith has told me in the past he doesn't want to debate me because he's just not interested. I don't have enough followers, whatever. I don't remember his exact reasoning. He's not interested. I've never one time said to him, "You're afraid to debate me," because I understand that time is limited. He owes me nothing. And maybe there's more, lucrative things he can be doing with his time. I'm sure there is, right? I've never said it. Now, I've more than one time seen him say to people who won't debate him that they're afraid to debate him. So I pointed this out to him, and he says, "Oh, it's different." No, it's not. The principle is that people have many reasons for not wanting to debate, and you can't assume fear. So his piss boys step in and piss girls. Oh, but these guys have mentioned Dave and they've criticized Dave. I've got the podcast footage where Dave mentioned me and criticized me and misrepresented my philosophy. Don't want to hear it. The principle is the same. And I'm just thinking, in multiple people kept saying, but he has reasons not to debate you, not knowing they're making my point for me because they just don't think in principle. Thinking in principle is vital. It's vital to be able to identify fundamentals in thinking, in situations, in arguments, whatever. This is a skill that needs to be honed, learned, practiced. What you don't want to do, though, is get so caught up in thinking in principle that you forget. It's like thinking in terms of concepts. Concepts are vital for effective thinking, but you don't ever want to forget the concretes that they represent, nor the diversity among the concretes a given concept stands for. The key is to be able to go back and forth when appropriate between concepts and concretes without obliterating either. You don't want to be focused on concrete, situations or, events, whatever, and not apply the concept to them. But you don't want to deal with concepts at the expense of the diversity that you're dealing with. James, am I right?
All I saw was the second to last comment from James, and that's completely derailed my thought process. I agree with you. I also think I also think it's difficult for people to do.
See, this
I
gets me
some,
upset, though. This gets me upset. Megan gets me very upset here because she says her husband assures her that the pain of delivering a baby is almost as bad as a man flu. Okay, so Megan, let me just tell you, it is true. No man will ever know what it's like to experience childbirth. No woman will ever understand what it's like to be a guy with a cold. You just don't get it.
So you know that there's that's the joke, right? That the man flu is so much worse. Do you know
No,
that
no,
there's
it's a man cold. Just a man cold. I don't need to have the flu. You guys don't get how bad the cold is for a guy.
so this is the joke that that
Can we
man
just
flu
can
is
we
worse.
pause for a second and give a lot of credit to Not Another Guitar Channel? He's got a man flu right now, and yet he's still tuned in here today.
That's very true. Thank you. You are a soldier, not another guitar channel. So, did you know that it's actually backed by science that men do actually suffer worse with the flu than women do? So, when men have like a cold or the flu, we joke that, you know, they've got the man flu, they're babies about it, but it's actually scientifically backed that men do struggle more with a lot of the symptoms. Women like heal better, they don't have as much respiratory distress usually. And I find that really interesting. We turn it into a joke that, like, oh, he's got the man flu. But it's actually scientifically true that men can struggle more with that. Mr. Deagle says women have a generally higher pain threshold.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know if that's true. So, Mr. Deagle also asked a question. He said, if in the future there are drugs that can make you blissful constantly while you live in a VR world, assuming that your physical needs are met, would it be moral to do that?
Where is that? That's up here. Or it's on the page.
It's above the comment where James said fancy wanking.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like it because it's so out of touch. I would say it would not because of the virtue of independence. So when you're assessing action, I call it a vertical and horizontal justification, right? The vertical is going straight to reality, reducing all your concepts to reality, but you also check all your concepts against your other concepts. So in the case of this, what you're talking about is if we know that independence is a virtue. So if you judge this in relation to independence or productiveness, for instance, well, first of all, you're not going to be producing anything, but you're also not going to be independent. You're completely dependent that somebody else is going to keep you alive. And submitting yourself to that kind of risk, I don't think would be moral, no.
I don't think so either. I weirdly also don't understand how that would work. I mean, I know it's like a fictional scenario, but I don't see how it would be possible to be blissful if you didn't have life the way that it is now. You know, they say without meaningful work, men go mad, or whatever the quote is. I can't remember the exact words. But I don't understand personally how you can ever be blissful if you are not like creating something meaningful or being productive in some way or working towards something. Constant injections of dopamine. I mean, take ecstasy if that's what you want to do.
Okay, we're not here to recommend ecstasy.
No, that was
either.
that was me being sarcastic and mean.
Yes. Okay. So we're not going to do that, and we're not going to recommend dopamine shots either. But again, you talked about being in a virtual reality. You're still going to have somebody feeding you at some point, unless you're going to be productive. I don't know, but we're out of time. We will be back in 14 minutes to do You're doing productiveness, Jim. Don't try to get out of it.
Juked.
Do you want her to join us? Is that what you're saying, Jim? Either way, we have to go because we got a show to do in 14 minutes. Crime, Corrections, and Culture. Please join us on this very channel. And until then, folks, be ethical.